This is all about decision intelligence and alignment intelligence for CEOs. What we do is we deliver the alignment intelligence for CEOs who are looking for particular answers. And our focus areas for CEOs are always complete. It is just not one area, but business, family, and of course, themselves. We don't work on the objective world. We are pretty much like looking at these magnets which are under the paper. You can only understand these forces when you sprinkle iron dust and see how these energies work together and they manifest. Thinking that these energies don't exist is not an option because ultimately it is all about the physics of intention. We are not being told, and we have decoded temples, we have done quantum physics and quantum vibrational astrology models to understand that there is evidence after evidence after evidence that the intention creates a reality. We have created a system which is a spiritual AI system that basically takes in a ton of data about you without you understanding there is a lot of data about you using these energies, and it just requires 3 data points from you: your date of birth, your time of birth, and the location of birth. Nothing else is needed for us. So, which means that once we have generated this data and we are able to now understand the causality between everything in your life, because we can simulate the entire life from your birth to now, we are able to have a fantastic idea about the essence of the human because we are infinite creatures. Now, this seems easy, but it's not, because underneath the surface there's a lot of number crunching that's going on. So, the point would be to ensure that the rest of the presentation is just for the sake of simplicity, but it is not so simple. So, the question in this case study is of a CEO who's a brilliant designer, and she wanted to ask when the big break is going to be coming for her. Again, we have said intent creates reality. So, what we did is we took her energies and we studied them intently. This is where the patterns come in. We realized a couple of patterns in her life. For example, somebody with this kind of an archetype faces immense trauma and abandonment, specifically at home. So imagine being part of a family business where you're constantly not being acknowledged for the intense drive to innovate and serve customers. The second point would be to understand some of her hopes and desires, and we could see that there was a pattern of 25, 26, and 27 repeat continuously on her astrological chart. Now, this is very, very fundamental because once we understand the hopes and the desires and the essence of a human, now we can project what the human really faces and what they are looking for. But the most important thing is these are not siloed activities. So, this understanding of the CEO was fundamental for us so we can ultimately create the interrelationships and then forecast when the big break would come. And it did. You can see the archetypal pattern over here where the big break actually came. We will not talk about the date or what kind of quality it was, but what matters at the end of the day is she wanted to be independent from a business family where nobody ever wanted to break away, but she did. So she met absolutely new customers and new designers who loved her work. New business and new contracts came in that can sustain several years, and then finally it was her big moment to take the decision to break away from a very abusive family and separate herself out and find a new direction. Again, as I said, that we deliver alignment and exceptional clarity for CEOs and we focus on the things that the objective world has no answer, which is the unknown, the unseen, the future, and the hidden. Thank you very much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed this case study.